Hi, and welcome to T Transitions, the podcast for women building a life abroad. I'm Rose Davenport.
Hi, I'm Farah Baker. We're here for the unfiltered truth, the victories, the setbacks, and the joys of your journey of change. So, without further ado, we present to you our guest for today, Dewi. Welcome, Dewi.
Hello.
Welcome. Good to
Hi.
Nice to
see
meet
you.
you. Thank you. I'm happy to
So,
be here.
Awesome.
excellent. So, Dewi is originally from Malaysia. Am I right,
Yeah.
Dewi?
Yes.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Tell us your journey here. Is this the first country you relocated to?
Yes, it is. I came here as a student back
Mhm.
in 20, no, 32 years ago now.
Wow.
So yeah, giving away my age, I know. Yeah, so I came here as a student, wasn't planning on coming here. I was intending wanting to do law, so I wanted to go to UK. But
Mhm.
then at that time, I think in the early 90s, the twinning program is very popular in Southeast Asia.
Mhm.
So I, started the first semester there and I met students that were planning to come to the US. And then
Mhm.
I do some calculation. I figured that, oh, the money that my dad gave me, I can spend 2 years in the US or I can spend 9 months in the UK. So very
Mhm.
quickly, I told my
Yeah.
dad, I think I'm going to the US because I guess the inspiration for me is I truly really want to get away, like
Mm.
Mhm.
get away from the traditional mold.
Mhm.
I don't know about you girls from Singapore, but I'm from Malaysia, but I come from the smallest state in Malaysia. So
Which
I'm
is,
a
what
true
state is that?
it's called Perlis,
Ah.
Perlis, like
Perlis.
Uh-huh.
border to Thailand. So
Okay.
I'm a true kampong girl. So I
Uh-huh.
grew up in a very small town, and seems like everybody's future is very set in stone.
Mhm.
And I'm very outspoken since little, so I wanted to break that mold. I do not
Mhm.
want like things to just line up for me, like what my
Yeah.
mom want me to do or what is expected by the family. So I
Mhm.
want to get away as far as I can. And then when I found out about when I found out
Yeah.
about this program and this opportunity, and my father, surprisingly, when I say surprisingly, it's because we come from a small place. Financially, it's not just spend the money, right? So it's a
Mhm.
Yeah.
big lift for them, but dad was very, very supportive. So
Mhm.
they said, okay, go. So here I left in 1993. I
Mhm.
Mhm.
came here after a month. I turned 21 and I never looked back.
Oh
So
wow.
without social media in 1993,
Yes, yes.
how was that for you?
It was, I must say, it's good that I was young, so I didn't know what fear is.
Mm.
So I came with a friend. A guy friend. And I remember when my family were doing like going away party for me. My grandma, so I show my grandmother the photo. So this Lawrence is the guy that a friend that I'm going to go to the US with.
Mhm.
My grandmother take a good look and she was like, I think you are going to be protecting him. Nothing against Lawrence. Lawrence is very gentleman, very soft looking, and he is now a um, big time, I guess, actor and stage actor
Mhm.
in Asia now. Anyway,
Oh
that's
wow.
another story. Yeah, Lawrence
Uh-huh.
is my best. Is one of my good friends. So anyway, we came together, and it's just no fear. I mean, him and
Yeah.
I and
Mhm.
we both actually purposely picked a university that does not have a lot of Malaysian.
Was
Ah.
was there any anxiety at all? Excitement
Um,
was definitely excitement, but what about anxiety behind the scene?
um, I think it's just all excitement at that time. I guess I
Mhm.
was 20, like we are
Yeah.
just like wanting to explore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we purposely picked a university that does not have literally, I think they probably have a handful of Malaysian
Mhm.
because we both feel like if we are going to America, we are going to learn the culture. We are going to like
Which
learn about.
college?
So we
Immerse
ended up
yourself.
Yes, we ended up
Mm.
going to Bowling Green State University in Ohio.
Ohio.
Mm.
Yes, so but much to say, it was disappointed when we got here because it's all cornfields. And
Yeah.
I was like, what did I get myself into? I trade a paddy field to cornfields.
So one kampong for another kampong.
Exactly. One couple for another. Seriously, it was so interesting, and that was, I guess, it's also kind of culture shock for us.
Yeah.
And maybe that, like culture shock because we have to take a prop plane from
Mm.
Chicago to Toledo, and the
Mm.
prop plane obviously one seated each, and the flight attendants actually have to split Lawrence and I so that we can sit on both
Balance the
sides so that we
aircraft.
can balance the aircraft. So that
Yeah.
was the
My
first
gosh.
culture shock. That was the first culture shock for us, and then the cornfield are the second thing that we saw. So it is really, and then we found out, oh, Taco Bell had hot sauce. That is the spiciest thing we could have. So every Friday we will go to Taco Bell and we notice that, oh, you can take as many as you want. So we
Yeah.
would have one taco, have 5 packages of hot sauce. So it is just like, I guess, culture shock in a good way. It's not devastating, but
Mm.
it is
Mm.
something that we wish somebody
Manageable.
would tell us, right? We wish somebody would have told us, like
Yeah.
we were not prepared for that.
Mhm.
We were not prepared for that. Yeah, for me, the biggest thing that I really wish somebody would have told me was for the first semester I have to live in the dorm because I was under 21. I was probably the first and the last person to take shower every day because
Really?
because the shower is not enclosed. Let's just put it that
Ah.
way. And I definitely not comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was a big shock for me. Like that,
Mm.
I must say, my probably the biggest culture shock for me. Like I kind of
Mm.
knew, but didn't expect to that extent, I guess. But these days it's very different.
How
Mm.
long then did it take you to finally kind of have a good grasp of your surrounding and environment to finally say, all right, I'm done with the anxiety. I'm done with all of the excitement, attend classes, mingle with the rest of my peers. How long did it take you to finally say, this is it?
It's probably take about one semester, I think, because it does help because I went to a college that is a twinning program where we actually study basically the freshman and the sophomore courses. So
Yeah.
in terms of classes, it's okay, right? In terms of classes, it's okay. It's just, the people that you meet but Bowling Green is a small school, but international program is
Right.
pretty well versed.
Yep.
So
Mhm.
I made a lot of friends. So for me, actually, in a way, it kind of helped me settle because everybody is foreign, right? So we
Ah.
all kind of like live off each other, kind of like learn
Mm.
from each other. So
Mm.
yeah, it didn't take me too long. And plus I'm so social, so that
Yes.
helps.
Yeah. So now, subsequently after your education here, did you stay
Mhm.
on or did you go back to Malaysia?
No, I did not. So I consider myself very lucky. So I finished my undergraduate, contemplating, don't know what I want to do because, but immediately out of the blue, I was offered a full assistantship for grad school, like by the
Wow.
same school.
Awesome.
So
Mm.
I was like, oh, okay, I will do that. So then I
Mhm.
did that without knowing, where it's going to lead me. So I did that
Mhm.
for 2 years. My second year of grad school, the first semester, I secure a job already. So I
Wow.
just need to cruise through second year, kind of.
Yeah.
And then I got my first job and I worked for the same company for 23 years before I separate
Wow.
from that company. So in a way, yeah, it's kind of, I wouldn't say uneventful, right? But
Yeah.
it's just like one thing led to another for
Mm.
me. So,
So that,
You are meant to be here. That
that's
it was
exactly
only
what I was
for you. Yeah.
and the transition seems to be so seamless from college and then the internship through career pivot really take place naturally. During, if you can look back, what kind of emotional support do you have at that time? Because I know it's very strenuous with all of the homeworks and, going to classes and your peers and the activities after school and weekends. Did you have to go through some emotional roller coaster? And if so, what kind of emotional support you had at that time?
For me, I think having friends around, for me, like friends is very important because, like I wanted to break away from home, right? So I come here and, I still talk to my parents very regularly, but um, coming here really, I guess I really grow into myself, like find myself. And I just realized that, oh, I didn't realize that I can do all of these things. Like it shows that how much more I have always been independent, but I didn't realize that, oh, I can actually do all this on my own. Um, you know, I go to school, I actually, even during undergraduate, I actually work and I actually enjoy it tremendously. I actually enjoy working more than studying. Studying is almost like, okay, we cruise through it, right? We
Yeah.
cruise through it. But the working is the part that I really enjoy. And it's now that I look back in my career now, like 20 some year of career. And I look back, I was like, oh, I actually already created a path for myself back then when I was in college, and I just did not realize it. Because back then, as part of my full assistantship, I actually managed all the computer labs for the university, and that's where my assistantship come in. And I guess I was doing it well, but I didn't realize it then. To me, it's just a job, a training, right?
Yeah.
And then now, transition into the work that I'm doing now, and I just realized that I have always been trained to do that job since I was in college, and I just did not realize it.
Yeah.
So that is.
It seems like as Rosie said, it seems like a seamless transition for you. And I think they say being young and fearless helps a lot.
Definitely.
And you take a lot of chances and you roll with it very quickly in that sense, because you were so ready for a change, and it just, because it went so seamlessly, it just transitioned from one level to another level easily with no problems, and you just took it on. Now currently, what are you doing for a career? Where are you at now?
So I am in an IT field. I am not a programmer. I tried during the Y2K, I did try doing some programming, but it's just not my thing. And similarly with work as well, even though I was with the same company for 23 years, but I pretty much change project every 2 to 3 years, basically. So it's almost like going to a new company because you meet a new client, you have new coworkers, right?
Yes.
All of that. So I kind of also find my footing that way. Like like you say, sometimes ignorance is the blessing, right? You are not afraid to try things. So I kind of lead one thing to another, kind of find my footage, like moving from, doing development is not really my thing. And then I was doing business intelligence, data warehousing, that kind of like, okay, give me some background that, I can put on my resume per se. And I eventually move up to in the management role, and that is really where I shine. And I have been doing that with, different companies now and with different industry, but yeah, that it. And I actually, it's interesting because when pandemic hit, everybody work remote, right? And when I left my company of 23 years, and I told my husband, I haven't done a resume in so many years, right? I didn't even know like what to put on it. And then my husband very quickly pointed out, he said, you should put remote management as your skill set. I was like, what? I said, doesn't everybody do that? He was like, no. He said, I don't, because apparently I have been doing it without realizing it. I just take on what is thrown at me. About 10 years before pandemic hit, because we decided that we're going to start a family. So with a little baby, with an au pair at home, I just take a different role, kind of take a back seat in my career, just so that, and that involved having to work from home. And part of the working from home is you cannot advance as much, right? As quickly because you're not client facing. But in turn, I manage the development team instead, people in India, people in California. So I was doing it for 10 years before pandemic, and without even realizing that is a specialized skills.
Throughout this journey, did you took some time to step back and recall the journey, right? And identify some of the qualities that surprised you, that built you as a person. What are those qualities that helped you?
Um, Instead of quality, I would talk about how I actually reset my priorities in life. That is
There you
really
go.
one thing,
That will work.
because I took maybe 2 career breaks.
Mm.
Like the break would be like maybe 6 months in between, and again, all of this only possible because my husband is really supportive. He was like, "You need to take a break, you take it," and made me realize that how I need to prioritize, right? The first one, obviously, when I first have my daughter, I just realized that she grew so fast. I really need to take the time. So I took the time off and basically reprioritize her like she is now, because
Yeah.
I'm a workaholic. So I work
Yeah.
and work and work. And I, like sort of semi-perfectionist. So I need to make sure that everything is in order. So
Mhm.
as you can imagine, that is how much of my time pour into work. So with my daughter, I just reset the priority. And the second break that I took, it was for myself,
Mhm.
because that's when I realized that my health is not where it should be.
Mm.
And then I have decided that I need to take a break to take care of myself, so that then I can take care of the family. And so that's what I did. And yeah, and that is interesting. After that, after my health is, back to where it should be, and I also have established better habit.
Mhm.
And I realized that, hey, maybe it's age as well. I'm not sure. I just realized that, hey, now that at work, if I was faced in a similar challenge, my attitude is completely different now. I will still do my best, but hey, the sun still come up tomorrow,
Yes,
right?
As
exactly.
a
I went through
self-employed,
the same thing in that sense, and it took a health challenge for me to realize that, okay, this is more important than
Yeah.
work, and even though I'm still a workaholic, but at the end of the day, I know when to pull
limit
back. And
yourself. Yeah.
I
Yes,
think
yeah,
all of us had to go through that to a degree to
yeah,
realize that, right? Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I'm glad you are in a good place now.
Yeah.
Now, your kids are quite grown up now.
High school.
Jayla,
They're still in high school. Yeah,
they're
Jayla
still
is in
in high
high
school.
school.
Yeah.
Jayla is junior, and Jake
Mm.
is a freshman in high school.
Yeah, and they're very active from what I can see.
Yeah, they are my second job basically, because they are
Yeah.
very active. So
Nice.
I'm very involved. I'm very involved in their school life. I must say. I mean, the schoolwork, whatever they do, what they need to do, right? They need help. They come tell me, and I will find them help. But they're both in marching band, so it's take up
Ooh.
a lot of their time and my time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
but I enjoy doing, because then I form a separate group of network of
Yes.
booster moms, booster parents. So.
Yeah, that's true. Now, you being from Malaysia and your husband, I assume, is from the US. What cultural habits have you managed to keep from the Malaysian side? I'm assuming part of it is food.
It's interesting that you bring up, because my husband actually does not really eat food. He is not very adventurous. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
He's from he was from Alabama, so he is
Okay.
literally meat and potato kind of guy.
Mhm.
So he is not very adventurous. However, my children are. So my
Okay.
children are very up to par with the food that I make. Actually, my daughter now even almost taking over half of the cooking in the house. So
Wow.
she would make Asian food, she would make Asian food. I try to, like some of the, I wouldn't say typical Malaysian dishes, but dishes for my family, right?
Mhm.
That my mom would make, my grandma would make. So I would make them. And Jayla would say, Mom, these are the dishes that I would choose not to learn, so that I can always come home and eat your
Yes.
cooking. Yeah. So
Oh, how nice.
yeah. Actually, interesting is between college and the last 10 years, I kind of, keep like Chinese New Year is always a big thing for me. I always do the reunion dinner on the eve,
Mhm.
Chinese New Year Eve. That is pretty much as a tradition I will stick with. But then in the
Mhm.
last 5 years, I have met another group of Malaysian friends,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and they are big time in making sure that all their children, so now we are doing the dumpling, we are
Oh,
doing the dragon
Nice.
boat,
that is
we
so
are
Yeah.
doing
cool.
mooncake festival. Even I know how to
Wow.
make mooncake now because of
Oh,
them.
wow.
So yeah, all these
Wow.
friends are like super cooks, so
Yeah.
I'm inspired. So so that
Mm.
really helps. So now at least my kids know when to do mooncake festival, when to do
Mm.
that. So
Yeah.
so
No,
yeah.
I think this is where community plays a part, and we're talking specifically about our roots and our
Hmm.
community in that sense. Your kids will always be American because they're in the school system and they grow up here. But connecting with your own community, have their pluses. And, festivals is one of those things. And your
Hmm.
children end up learning those as well, right? So it's a plus point for us,
It is
I think, all
definitely.
all immigrants in that sense, not to lose touch with our
Yep.
roots. Mm.
Yeah, they kind of have the privilege of enjoying the best of
Both
both
worlds.
sides, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
So what
Yeah.
does home mean to you now compared to before? Now that you have your kids are pretty big, grown up now, right? They're quite kind of independent. What does that shift look like, and what does home for you mean?
You know, physically, right? This is my home, right?
Yeah.
But mom and dad is always in here,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
you know.
Mm.
So it's interesting. I mean, I still refer to mom and dad's house as,
Home.
like my house,
Mm.
Mm.
right? American don't do it that way, but we
Yep.
still do it
Yep.
that
Yes.
way. So to me, is really wherever my family is, that is where home is,
Mm.
essentially, right?
Yeah.
So and that is the value that I instill in my children.
Beautiful.
Like
Mm.
my children do not just go out and see any adult and call them by their first name. That is no.
Yes.
That is no, right? And it's
Yeah.
interesting when I before I got married, I asked my mother-in-law, I told her
Mm.
that I will call you by mom
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
because I just do not know how to call her by her first name. I just can't say it.
Yeah.
I just
Mm-hmm.
can't, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think I am the only one in the family that would call her by mom, and
Mm.
she's very sweet. When she sent us card, she would, because I guess my husband called her mother, so
Mm.
she
Mm-hmm.
would sign mother and mom, because mom is
Oh,
for me and mother is for him. So yes,
oh, that's
yes,
nice. Yeah,
yeah.
I think that's a kind of like a learning curve for them because I think all of us have in-laws who are quite surprised that we will call them mom and dad
Oh,
because
did you
it's
guys do
not
the same
done.
thing? Did
Yes.
you
Yeah,
guys do
I
the
do.
same? Yeah, you can.
I like you. I cannot call them by their first name. It won't. I
It won't
no,
come out, right? It won't come out.
never.
Yeah,
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 and
That's
I'm okay with
different.
it.
yes,
Very, very
Exactly.
different. Yep.
Yeah,
yeah.
precisely.
So what's next adventure for you? I know you are such a workaholic, such a career woman, right? Very busy. What's in the book for you? And
You
your
know,
family?
believe it or not, I am looking forward to retirement, although I don't know what I'm going to do after retirement, but I am hanging on to these last 4 years. My daughter have 2 more years, which
Yeah.
she reminded me almost every day. If like
Uh-huh.
she wants something, I don't do it with her. She was like, "Mommy, 2 more years, I'll be gone. 2 more years, I'll be gone."
They will keep on repeating that.
Yeah,
Yes,
Been
yeah.
yes.
there, done
So
that. Mhm.
yeah, so we are hanging on to that. And, with their schedule is so busy, we truly still, my husband and I still make sure that we carve out time to do family vacation.
Mm.
Family vacation these days is very different from when they were little, right?
It's
Now
true.
we go somewhere, everybody's on their electronics and,
Mm.
but yeah, but we always do a summer vacation together,
Mhm.
Mhm.
always. And then Christmas we would go to my in-law because my mother-in-law still here,
Mhm.
so we
Mhm.
would spend time with her and my brother-in-law and sister-in-law and cousins and all.
Nice.
So
Mm.
we still do that, but yeah, I don't know. I kind of like want the kids to grow up to be on their own, but I am not really looking forward to, you know,
They will
being an
do it
empty nester.
automatically on their own as soon as they go to college. And I'm
Yeah.
saying this through my own personal experience, you know. My daughter went first year and then she doesn't feel good. We took her
Go
back
back.
home so
Mm.
that we can take care of her health, and then she's ready to go. We're like, hurry up, go, because we cannot wait
Yeah.
to be the empty
Yeah.
nester. So now
Yeah.
we're like, what do we do? What do we
Yeah,
do?
exactly. Right.
Take your time.
Yeah. 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 But there is one thing that I instill in my children, just like the safety net that I feel with my parents. I'm in my
Mhm.
50s, but if I feel like if I need to go home for
You
whatever
go home.
reason,
At
they
least you
will
can
be
bring
there
them.
for me, right?
Yeah.
So that is
Yes.
something that I instill in my children, despite what my husband said. I would say,
Mhm.
we always home, as long as mom is here, there's always home for you guys to come back
Yes.
to.
That's
Yeah.
So
beautiful.
yeah,
That is so beautiful.
Just wonder whether that's a more Asian thing,
definitely. I
right?
think
As a
definitely.
mom, I'm gonna have to agree that's an Asian thing. Like it,
Yeah.
or not. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think American probably will still welcome the children home, but I think
Mhm.
the 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 mentality could be a little bit different, right? I mean,
Mhm.
like I'm pretty sure if my husband need to go home, my mother-in-law is not going to say no, because it's interesting when she retired that we moved her from
Mhm.
Alabama to Tennessee because closer to her family. Um, she did not downsize. She
Mhm.
actually upgraded the house because she wants to make sure that we all have room when we go
Oh.
to visit her, because she doesn't
Mhm.
want us to go
Nice.
stay at a hotel or stay with somebody else. She wants
Mhm.
us to stay at her house.
I see.
So yeah. So that's one similarity in terms of cultural for me and my husband.
Mhm.
I think, he grew up in a big family. I grew up in a big family. So
Mhm.
we kind of, the family value is
Yeah.
similar in,
Same.
in that
Yeah.
sense. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, we're close to time, believe it or not.
Mm.
It seems like the engagement, the conversation is so natural here.
Yeah.
We always ask ladies out there, after their transitions, if they were to recall back, what would be one piece of advice they would either give to themselves pre-move? What would it be? That's my part one question. And my part two question will be, what would your advice be for the listeners out there who are right now packing their stuff in preparing for their move? What would that advice sound like?
For me, if I were to look back and tell the 20-year-old self, one
Mm-hmm.
thing that I would probably tell that young Dewi would be, don't be afraid.
Mm.
Don't be afraid, and don't underestimate yourself.
Yeah.
Mm.
Now that I have been here for so long, I think if I would have the guidance, or if I do have that kind of like friends influence, I would probably be an emergency room doctor. I think I would be really good at that job, because
Ah.
I excel in chaos. That's how I feel, right? And I love watching those shows about those, and I kind of regretted that is not where, I
Mm.
don't
Mm.
generally regret things that I have done, but that would be a different path that I would take
Mm.
if I were to
Mm.
have to redo it. In
Yeah.
terms of advice for the people, I would say, people, if you choose to migrate, to go somewhere else, try not to stick with your own people at first, right? Try to
Yeah.
learn and immerse yourself in the new
Mm.
culture, to
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
learn about I mean, it's important to have your own people, but sometimes I feel like when you have your own people, then you kind of have a fallback, right? You are afraid to try something
True.
new, because you know what I mean. So that is
Right.
Yeah.
from my personal. That is from
Yeah.
my personal
That is so
Yeah.
experience.
true.
And I think it's a mindset thing as well. When you it's so insular among your own
Mhm.
people, your mind doesn't, venture further than it should, I feel, in terms of
Yes.
experiences and ideas, right?
That's right. That is so true. Well, David, thank you so much for
Thank
spending
you.
time with us and sharing your journey, your history. Definitely very uplifting for our listeners, especially those who are moving for career, right? Or going to school in other countries, what that's supposed to look like. But the best part of this is, number one, technology is available for them at their fingertips,
Yes.
unlike
Yes.
your time, our time, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that itself is going to be very resourceful for them to have the tools. And to your point too, reach out to the community, because that's where you will soon feel that you belong and you want to be a part of that community as part of your growth.
Mhm.
Again, I really appreciate it so much, and look forward to the journey that you and your family will be taking in the next couple of years. Excellent.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed the conversation. Maybe next time we will meet for real to have
Oh,
a cup of tea.
yes.
Yes.
And you're in Virginia, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah. So, dear listeners, if today's episode resonated with you in any way, please hit subscribe, leave a comment below, or share it with a friend. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And if you wish to be a guest, please DM or email us at hello@ttransitions.com. For us, every story matters here. And we're so glad, Dewi, you could join our space here. Take care, be kind, and keep showing up for yourself. Till our next conversation. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.